You ever get handed a second chance and feel the room holding its breath to see whether you'll fumble it or turn it into fireworks? Shedeur Sanders got his second shot Sunday, and for the first time in his NFL life, the movie cut to something that looked like hope, not doom. He threw his first NFL touchdown. The Browns won 24-10 in Las Vegas, and suddenly the narrative about too green, too loud, too much spotlight got a lot quieter. Reuters, he wasn't perfect. He completed 11 of 20 for 209 yards, 1 TD, and 1 interception. He still took a sack and made a rookie mistake or two. But that stat line, it's usable. It's the kind of performance a coach can build around. A couple of big plays, a few clean drives, and enough calm to let the defense do the heavy lifting. For a fifth-round rookie whose first live NFL action looked like a panic attack, this was the opposite. Measured, opportunistic, and crucially, a win. CBS Sports' The Highlight Reel moment, and the one that will live in highlight reels for a while, was a 66-yard score on a short pass that Dylan Sampson turned into a sprint to daylight. That play wasn't just a touchdown, it was a punctuation mark. I belong here. Add a 52-yard connection to Isaiah Bond that set up a first-half score, and suddenly you have evidence that he can hit the explosive throw when the timing is right. Those plays are currency in the NFL. Coaches loan you opportunities when you've deposited a few explosive plays into your bank. Reuters, let's not pretend the Browns' defense wasn't the real headline. Cleveland sacked Geno Smith 10 times, and Myles Garrett had a 3-sack day, continuing an all-world season and essentially carrying the team when the offense stalled. When your defensive line gets that many pressures, a rookie, QB's mistakes look smaller, and the coaching staff can breathe through the second half. Garrett's dominance right now is the reason this Cleveland team can afford to let a young passer grow in public. Reuters, there's a mental beat here that matters as much as the X's and O's. After his first messy relief appearance, Shedeur said a line that sounded like a mic drop. A lot of people want to see me fail. It ain't gonna happen. That's not bravado for clicks. That's a promise, or a threat, depending on where you sit, that he's not going to let the noise write his story for him. Confidence after a win sounds different than sarcasm after a loss. Sunday gave him the former, and that changes the conversation in the locker room and the press box. SI now, the practical reality. Kevin Stefanski still says Dillon Gabriel will resume the starting role if he clears concussion protocol. That creates an inevitable tension. Shedeur just broke a 0-for streak of Browns quarterbacks losing their first start since the franchise's return, and yet the rookie's seat is, by design, temporary. That ticking clock is both dangerous and electric. Play well enough, and you make the staff choose between loyalty and momentum. Play poorly, and you hand the job back on a silver platter. Either way, the stakes are real. SI, let's get tactical for a second. What worked for Shedeur on Sunday, and what should the Browns keep doing? 1. Simplify reads. Short, high-percentage thoroughly to build confidence. 2. Let your run game and defense shorten the field so he isn't forced into high-leverage third and long shots. 3. Design plays that allow him to make decisions with his eyes, not with his feet. Give him structure so his natural athleticism becomes a bonus, not a bailout. Sunday's game plan did that enough to win. Rinse and repeat, and you keep the momentum. ClevelandBrowns.com. There's also the brand angle, unavoidable in 2025. Shedeur walked into the league with a headline-sized shadow, famous last name, famous father, massive expectations, and a social media magnifier. That's an accelerant for criticism and an accelerant for praise. Handling the off-field noise, turning the burglary headlines, draft skepticism, and viral moments into a quiet, consistent work ethic is now part of his job description. Sunday's win bought him a little breathing room. What he does with it in practice and interviews will determine how long that grace lasts. New York Post. Now the flip side. The Browns can't treat this as a feel-good one-off. Wins are a habit, not a miracle. The schedule doesn't pause for rookies' confidence curves. San Francisco looms, and the league will always test young quarterbacks with pressure packages that punish indecision. If Shedeur plays like Sunday, but with fewer errors, he becomes a long-term storyline. If he regresses, the narrative snaps back to too early to tell. Coaches will look at film, not quotes. They'll watch his footwork under duress, his progressions when the pocket collapses, and how he manages 2-minute drills. Those micro details decide whether this is a turning point or a nice weekend. CBS Sports Days. For fans, the healthiest view is curious patience. We love fireworks and viral sound bites, but NFL careers are marathons disguised as highlight reels. Give Shedeur the chance to show repetition, to swing and miss, and then to adjust. He didn't erase his rough relief debut in one Sunday, but he did produce a performance that answers some questions and raises new ones, and in a good way. That's the drama we actually sign up for. Yahoo Tetao final thought. Sports loves origin stories, the kid nobody believed in who comes back and wins it all. Those tales are rare because they require more than one good day. Sunday was a start, not a coronation. Shedeur Sanders didn't just throw his first NFL touchdown, he earned another week of belief. Now it's up to him to make belief feel inevitable. If he keeps stacking days like that, the story won't be about who rooted against him. It'll be about who bet on him first. Reuters. He walked into the pocket like a kid trying on his dad's cleats. Obvious size difference, a little awkward, but somehow he still wanted to run. Seconds later, Shedeur Sanders threw a 66-yard screen that turned into the first touchdown of his NFL career, and the whole thing stopped feeling tentative. Cleveland left Las Vegas with a 24-10 win, and for a few bright hours, a franchise that's been ragged and restless found something that looked like a future. AP News. This wasn't a fairy tale. Sanders was far from perfect. 11 completions on 20 attempts, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, and an interception, but it mattered more that he looked like the version of himself the Browns had hoped to see after a full week of first-team reps. The big throws were there. The timing felt less panicked, and when the moment came to finish a drive, he didn't look like a man making it up as he went. For a fifth-round rookie who'd been thrown in cold the week before, that was damn near a professional performance. AP News. If you want a simple explanation for why the scoreboard ended up smiling on Cleveland, start with the D-line. The Browns piled up double-digit sacks on the Raiders and turned pressure into points and momentum. Myles Garrett was the obvious marquee name. 3 sacks on the night, another historic chapter added to his resume. But the rush came from everywhere and consistently. When your front four plays like that, games get short and simple. Hit the quarterback, win the field position battle, and make the offense's mistakes count. Reuters. But let's be honest about the arc that got Sanders here. A week earlier, he'd been thrown into the deep end with only a handful of first-team snaps under his belt and a burglary at his house distracting the narrative. That debut was ugly. 4 for 16 and a 13.5 passer rating, and it could have been the kind of baptism that breaks a rookie's confidence. Instead, the Browns gave him a clean week of reps, simplified some reads, schemed a few more quick game completions, and asked him to do the things a young QB should do when he's learning. Trust the play call, trust the protection, and keep the ball in the right hands. The result was steadier, smarter football. ESPN.com. The emotional angle is huge here. Cleveland's quarterback carousel has been a running sitcom of instability for more than 2 decades. Rookies come and go, the franchise churns through names like a casting director who can't find the lead, and the Browns had been 0-17 in first career starts since the team's return in 1999. Sanders not only won his game, he broke a streak that felt cursed, and that matters inside the locker room in ways stats can't measure. Confidence is contagious, and one win for a young QB rewires how teammates look at him on the practice field and in the film room. Clutch points. This performance didn't erase everything that's wrong in Cleveland. The offense still sputters at times. The playbook needs cleaner execution, and the long-term starter question isn't solved because one rookie earned his first W. But for a team that's been surviving on defense and hope, tonight's recipe, a manageable, mistake-light start from Sanders, plus a defensive line that ate the offensive line alive, is repeatable in theory. The honest, boring work now is to give him more reps, keep building chemistry with his primary targets, and let the coaching staff stop having to improvise a plan on Sunday and start running a plan built for him. ESPN.com, if you want the image that stays with you. Shedeur, breathing heavy, chest puffed with a rookie's relief, celebrating with teammates after that 66-yard screen and run to Dylan Sampson. A play that looked like improvisation until you watched it twice and saw the structure underneath. And there's Garrett, hands in the air, the kind of veteran who makes the room believe in itself. Together, they made a story where a kid got his first movie scene and a defense reminded everyone why the Browns still have a pulse. It's not a finished franchise arc, it's an inciting incident. But tonight it was enough.